Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lydia, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do, hey. Anyway guys, so today is going to be pretty much of a long video. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. So we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to do some pre-holiday baking, okay? So I have a couple of things, and I'm going to show you. I have a couple of things on my list to do today, guys. So in total, I'm gonna tell you we're making 2 apple pies, 4 sweet potato pies, 3 cheesecakes, and I'm also gonna try to get 2 cakes in for the holidays. So I'm hosting a Friendsgiving and a Thanksgiving this year. So I'm trying to get all of the pies and stuff that I can throw and set aside away early. Okay, so let's get that done and get right into the video. Alright guys, so we're going to start with our cheesecakes. I already did my pie crust, so when we bring that out for our pies, we'll be on that. But I want to start with the stuff that's going to take the longest. So I'm going to start, I got these pre-made pie crusts. Now, I do my cheesecakes 2 ways. You can do them the New York style, where you just have the crust on the bottom and you make it from scratch, which is a way I love to do it when I have time. But this is the way my mom taught me since I was a kid. This is the way she's always done it for every single Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I'm not going to just switch it up on my family since this is what they're used to. So this is the ones that I'm going to make. So to make these, I'm going to pop these lids off, guys. A lot of people don't egg wash their pie crust. I don't know why. Well, their graham cracker crust when it comes to cheesecakes. I have no clue why. This is what saved me in culinary school. Everybody's crust were cracking. And my mom, since I was a kid, always said, whip your egg white, put it on your crust, pre-bake your crust, and then put your cheesecake filling on your graham crackers and then bake it again. And my teacher in school was against it, and I did it behind everybody's back, and mine was the only one that came out great. So I'm gonna keep doing it. And I do that even when I do like my New York style cheesecakes. I'm gonna grab a bowl right quick. I don't know if I'm the only one, guys, but let me show you my egg carton. I save my eggshells, and I've been putting them in my compost, but I just save them in the carton sometimes until I can get to my compost. So for this, we just need an egg white. That's what I'm gonna crack. Oop, missed. So we'll just pick her up and take her out. Give my hands a quick rinse. And I'm going to just beat it till it's fluffy, so we'll just speed through this time. So you want it kind of frothy and fluffy, kind of how this is, guys. And all you're doing is putting the fluff on your crust, okay? So you're just grabbing that little frothy fluff that's on the tip. Okay, so if you can just dip it and pick up that froth, that's it. And you're going to brush that right on the crust. Do not break your crust. Gentle. So I'm going to get some more. So we're going to throw these in the oven 5 minutes. You're not getting color or anything. You just want that glue to stick. This is like our glue for it, okay? So I have that going with a 5-minute timer. Let's start our cheesecake. Now all of our ingredients have been sitting out just for a little bit, just so it can try to come to room temperature. When I make my cheesecake, guys, I just dump everything in there and mix it. The only thing I am gonna do, because I feel like my cream cheese is still really cold, so I'm gonna actually beat this for a little bit before I throw the rest of my ingredients in there, just to smooth it out. So I got all of our cream cheese in there, guys, and I just scraped some on the side. Like I said, we're gonna beat this for a few. Let me get my beater attachment. I always rinse these. I have the original ones, and I know I probably should get rid of it. I've had this KitchenAid for years, probably since college, so it's maybe like a decade old. That is our pie shelf coming out. So I'm gonna beat these and take them out. It's so weird that I'm baking over here, guys, because I keep having to run to my island to get stuff, because everything's usually right in there. But I'm going to scrape down the sides really good. And then I'm going to start adding in our other ingredients. Okay. So let's add the rest. Did I do that right? I don't think I did it right. I have to add more cream cheese. I did the math wrong. So the recipe in front of me is by 3. And I was trying to do, well, it's by 1, and I wanted to do it by 3. So that would be by 2. So I was supposed to add one more block. That's what I'm gonna do. So now I gotta add my eggs in here to make sure I don't get anything in there. 2, 3. 4. And sour cream. If you keep hearing the water in the background, guys, I'm sorry. I literally, that's why I don't mind putting my hand, I wash my hands after everything I touch. I don't know why, but I do. It's a habit, especially working in food service. It's really a habit. So I have all my wets. Let's get some dries in there. So I need my sugar, flour, and that's all I'm missing. So So my salt, we're gonna measure. There you go. And last is my flour. I'm going to scrape it down and switch attachments. Hey guys, so these are what our pie crusts are looking like. Wow. Okay, you see that little white film from the egg? If you push it, it's a crunch. It's sealed, it's not going nowhere till you cut it, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, don't always believe what your culinary teachers tell you. Sometimes mama know best. She do. Okay, but as you saw, our pie filling is done. So I'm gonna bring that over here. Our cheesecake filling. Why do I keep calling it pie? I think it's because it's in these pans. But our cheesecake filling is done. And that's our oven. So I did up the temperature and preheated it to 375 for our cheesecake to go in. I'm gonna clean these off real quick. Once it gets in the oven, we're gonna reduce the temperature to 325 and it'll finish cooking in there. All right. And these are actually cool. If you see already, we have our apples out. We will be making our apple filling too, okay? So I'm gonna fill these up. I did the recipe by 1.5, so it should fill all 4. And one recipe will make a regular New York style cheesecake. If you do it like, I want to say, I guess the proper way with just the grams on the bottom and in a spring form pan. Now I'm just gonna level, shake, shake, jiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, jiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, jiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, jiggle, wiggle. Okay. So these are leveled out. I actually could have just probably did, no, Cause I always have a little left over. And I always should be buying these little mini ones. The little pie ones they have to make for what's left, and I never do. So, I don't know. I might order some on Instacart real quick. And I know I'm talking to myself. I might order some of these little mini ones on Instacart real quick just to use up the rest of this filling, because I don't want it to overfill. I am gonna top off some of them. Okay, so we're gonna get these in the oven, guys. So I never water bath my cheesecakes that are in the pie crust that I pre-buy, just because my mom never did. We never have an issue with it, and it turns out perfect every time. So I don't water bath those. Again, if you're doing a traditional New York style cheesecake, guys, make sure you do water bath those. If you want to see how I make those, I can actually make a video probably after the holidays and post that for you guys. Because my babe loves cheesecake, so that's his favorite thing ever. That's why I'm making 4 of them. Because I might actually hide one for after the holidays and say, hey, I saved you one on the side. But that's in. It's going to cook. I'm going to let it sit at 375 in the oven for about 2 minutes just because I had the door open for a while. And then I'm going to reduce the temp. But I am going to move this. And then we're going to start with our apple pie filling so we can get our pies in next. Okay, so I just thought about it. I started with cold water. And before I start actually processing my apples, I do want to get my pot of sweet potatoes going because I have, I think I'm making 4 sweet potato pies. Yeah, I am. So 4 cheesecakes and then 4 sweet potato pies as well. And my sweet potatoes are not cooked or pureed or anything. So I'm going to get my pot of water going now so we can get those boiling, and then I'll start the apple pies. I'm actually going to do the apple pies the day of. I think I'm going to bake them the day of. So everything I'm going to bake today and then package away, and I'll show you how I store it in my freezer. But everything else, well, the apple pie is the only thing I'm going to actually bake the day of, but I'm going to put it together tonight and then put that in the freezer as well. Well, this morning. We got an early start today. I feel like good and energized. I really do. It's only 10:19. My pie crusts are done. My cheesecakes are in. And I did film another video this morning as well. So I really feel like I'm on a roll. It'll take forever to fill this up. Well, while we fill this up, I'm going to get what's over there. So I did actually look on my phone to get me an Instacart delivery. I just got the leftover cheesecake in a little bowl. Okay, and I'm just going to transfer that so I can clean these and get a load of dishes in the dishwasher. But I did do an Instacart delivery for those little mini cheesecakes. So once those get here, it says about 20 minutes, I'll take this out the fridge. And I'll put those in the oven with the rest of them. Ooh, I never put a timer on my oven after I reduced it. I'm going to do that as well. I think it's been about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's as much as I had left over. So I still should have did like the 1.5 recipe. If I knew how to do 1.25, I could have did the math and did that as well. But I'm gonna put this in the fridge. This is done. Ooh! That's a big pot. Let's put this on the stove and grab our potatoes. That is heavy. So I have that on and going. That's on as high as it's gonna go. Our potatoes are over here. Okay guys, so I got a lot of sweet potatoes, and let me tell you the difference, because I have 2 bags and I have I think I have about 2 boxes more coming to the house this weekend. I know, it's crazy, right? So these I bought in intention for doing the pies with today, okay? Because I didn't think the sweet potatoes that I were going to get from my mother-in-law was going to come in time for me to get all of these desserts out the way. So these are regular old store-bought potatoes, okay? Now these are a little dirty, but these are homegrown sweet potatoes. One of my mom's co-workers every year is always giving her food, and that's where I get a lot of my produce from, because my mom, she cooks sometimes, but she doesn't cook that much. So we're gonna cook the ones that I bought, and I'm gonna keep those fresh ones for Thanksgiving meal. So I'm gonna drop these in. But like I said, those are really good, and my mom's always giving me fresh produce from her co-worker, which I love, because I should be getting some collard greens soon, which is, oh, I'm so excited for. I got sweet potatoes. Like I said, I have 2 more truckloads of sweet potatoes coming in as well. Is that gonna be enough for all 4 pies? Or should I throw 1 more in just in case? That's 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm gonna throw 1 more in of the new ones I got. So I'm gonna throw this one in, but I'm gonna clean it first. Now that looks like a store-bought potato once you clean it up. But like I said, the ones that I'm getting coming in are from my mother-in-law. The church in her town, I don't know if it's from the church, I don't know who does it, but whoever grows it dumps literally a truckload of sweet potatoes in the church parking lot around this time of year, and we just all go and grab what we need. So I have 2 boxes coming in, and whatever I don't use for actual Thanksgiving dinner, guys, you will see a video on it, because I'm going to preserve those up for the winter as well. And I might do them the same way I did my regular potatoes. I didn't film that video, but I will show you. I got so much compost from peels that I have to go out and put in the compost as well today. So that was just the middle of the night, let me get this out the way type thing. Okay, so these are gonna boil. We're gonna process our apples, so let's just move right on over there, and I'm going to clean up. Okay guys, so we are over here ready to process. I don't have a lot of apples. I just have this 1 bowl. So I'm going to use this just to cut them up. And I'm looking for my peeler right here. So I have this bowl right here of water. Just because as I get them cut, I'm going to put them in here. I'll use this for my compost. Okay, and let's grab me my cutting board. So I'm just gonna peel away at these while my cheesecakes are in the oven. Dag, I still didn't put a timer. How long has it been now? We're gonna put a 30-minute timer on it. And then I will check it when that timer goes off. Okay. Now I'm trying to think about how I want to process these apple pies, since I'm not going to bake it today. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it like the dry way, like when you make apple crisp. Mix all the dry ingredients in there and then put it in my pie dough, if that makes sense. And then just bake it all at once the day of. Or I'm trying to decide if I want to par cook it a little bit, not as long as you're supposed to. Let it completely cool and then put it in the pie dough and then freeze it to cook it the day of. I've never froze it, but I know you can buy it at the store frozen. So that's pretty much what I'm going off of right now. I'm using a mix between 2 different apples. I think these are the Fuji and then these are Granny Smith. Just to let you guys know. Because I love the fact that Granny Smith's apples are so much, I don't know, like they're the perfect baking apple to me. But I know they say Fuji's are more sweeter. Granny Smiths kind of do hold up their shape a little better when you're cooking and baking it, my opinion. But I'm not going to talk too much, guys. I'm going to peel and slice and get these in some water. Ooh. If I miss any pieces, I'll just cut them and throw them in. Same with the peels. Any bruising or bad parts, guys, I'll show you like here. I'm just cutting off of the apple and throwing that piece straight into compost, just to let you guys know. So don't toss your whole apple, please don't. We waste way too much food in America, in my opinion, as it is. I'm gonna add a little more water in here. Alright guys, so that 30-minute timer just went off for the cheesecakes. And they look so good. I'm gonna show them to you. Let me cut these last ones up. And our sweet potatoes are rumbling, boiling away as well. So Once I finish these last, this is all I have. I'm gonna show you what I have going next to me because this house is starting to smell great. So this is gonna go into my compost outside, guys. So right now I have about 2 bowls just full of compost. And I'm gonna just keep adding to them and we'll take them all out at the same time. Make sure my apples are covered with water. So I might just add a little more just to make sure it's completely covered. So those are good. I'm gonna just slide this to the back for now because I am gonna use that cutting board again for my sweet potatoes. And let's bring you around. All right, guys, so my sweet potatoes are over here rumbling away. They have a while. I'm gonna let them boil for about an hour or so just to make sure they are completely soft and I can puree them. And then let's look, we're gonna take a quick look, okay? Ah! Look at those. Don't they look so good? So I'm actually gonna turn them off in the oven and let it cool, okay? So I'm going to turn my oven off. Try not to burn myself. Okay, and we'll let the cheesecake completely cool in the oven. They won't completely cool. We're just gonna leave it off for about 30 minutes and let them sit in the oven. And then we'll take them out, sit them on that rack I have set up before we put them in the cooler to cool. Once they are completely cool, we're gonna wrap them in saran wrap, put the lid back on, and then freeze them until daytime, okay? Well, until time to eat. You know what I mean. Anyway, these came with the cheesecake thing, so I am gonna use these to cover them when I store them. So I'm just gonna wash these off as well. And then we're going to pull our pie crust out the fridge. So I did the pie crust recipe by 2. I'm gonna grab 1 out for now. And we like our pie with the crumb topping. So I think I'm gonna do 2 with the crumb topping and 1 with the lattice topping. We're gonna see. Hopefully I made enough pie dough to get through all of these recipes. If not, we will be making another batch. So I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit and give me some room to roll out my pie dough. Now, my pie dough is the same pie dough recipe I have on my channel. It's one of the first recipes I made on my channel, guys. So I will link that down in the description below if you want to see how I make my pie dough. This is made with 100% butter flavored shortening. Just because we have dairy-free eaters. Again, it's Thanksgiving. You know, I have a dairy-free person in my house. And with his grandma coming, it will be 2 dairy-free people here eating. So most of what I'm making is going to be dairy-free. Just because I know how to alter all of these recipes already. I do it for my son. No one can even tell the difference half the time unless I say something. And it's funny because all people keep talking about this year is my dairy-free mac and cheese. That's all everyone is talking about. Not even my regular, but my dairy-free. That is funny to me because they didn't even know it was until I said something to them. So we're all wiped down. I have pie pans in bulk. Sometimes during the holidays, I sell sweet potato pies, apple pies, all from scratch. But this year I did not advertise for it. Like I said, we moved and it's a little hectic and crazy. So I did not do that this year. I might do it next year, but I do still have like maybe 3 more of these in my garage. So we're gonna go through them. Well, some of them, I guess. I'm gonna take 4 out. We're gonna see how many we can get. I'm gonna take 4 out for now. I don't think I made this as moist as it should be. So we might actually have to save this. And as you see, it's falling apart. So I did not make this as moist as it should be. So what I might do, guys, get a scraper. I'm gonna add this to this bowl, get some more liquid in there, and save it a little bit, and then we'll re-roll it. And again, this is made with shortening. It has, which means it's going to, the fat is gonna melt at a higher temperature. So we're still gonna get that flakiness that you get with butter. The only easier part with shortening is, to me, it's a little safer to manipulate, because again, my hands is not going to cause it to melt and lose that flakiness. So I'm gonna get some cold water. We're just gonna add a little to it and try to compact it down. I'm gonna add a little more, and that should be perfect. Yep. So I'm gonna do this to both of them just to make sure I save them well. That's much better. And I did make this recipe by 4, guys, but I only put it in 2 discs. So I'm gonna cut this in half again. And then refrigerate it. Grab a scissor, because I'm going to use this other half for this one. So we just saved that, which is great. I'm gonna put these in their pie pans just so I know how many I have. So I'm gonna end up saving this one as well, guys, just so I don't have to do it later when it's time for me to get to it. Because like I said, I made them all together, so I know if one is dry, they're both dry. Grab one more pot pan. Let me wash. So I have each of these in their pie pans that I will roll them out in. So I'm gonna just put these back in the fridge for another 20 minutes just to make sure they harden up and stick together again. I am going to take my cheesecakes out the oven. They look beautiful. Now again, these are cheesecake pies. Like my mom said, they need color, okay? They need a little, don't burn it, a little color. I need to get my other rack out. So guys, I'm gonna show you. I gotta come around. Now, these were left in the oven again. Look how pretty. Oh, look at the color. Okay, so it has a little browning, not too much. All right, it's a pie cake. Cheesecake pie. My sweet potatoes are going. I'm gonna turn those down a bit. Guys, I'm gonna use the power of editing magic, and we are going to clean up and get set up for the next project. Okay, we're back. That was so funny. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so I wiped our station down, guys. We're all wiped, cleaned up. This is the bowl that we were saving our pie dough in, and I just cleaned that out, and I'm just drying it as best as I can because I'm going to make our flour mixture. I've decided with the apple pie, what I'm gonna do is kind of do it like an apple crisp. So I'm not gonna par, cook, bake it at all, because I know last time I did that, the apples were super mushy and it kind of tastes like, I don't know, applesauce in dough. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try it this way, and we're gonna hopefully hope it works. So I'm gonna make my dry mixture in this bowl. So for that, I know I need cornstarch, flour, water, apples, and sugar. I have measuring cups in my flour container. This is 3/4. So what I'm gonna do is mix it all in this bowl first. So I'm going to do 3/4 cups, about 3/4 cups of flour. Might do a little more. So I'm gonna up it to a full cup of flour I have in my bowl. I'm gonna do about a 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay. I do want to add in some salt. Anytime you're baking, guys, don't forget your salt. I used to leave out salt all the time, and then because I always said it, I don't want to get diabetes, salt's gonna kill me. And for years I used to leave it out my baking, and I had a lot of people buy stuff for me still, you know. It was still great in flavor, but that salt, it really does just give it to you. It does. So I'm gonna throw some cinnamon in here. I do want to grab some allspice. We're gonna put some in there as well. And we'll go in with some ground cloves as well. I'm gonna put these back. I'm also going to add some pumpkin pie spice. I want this nice and great, guys. All right. Then we'll lastly add some cornstarch. And I'm going to hope that this cornstarch is going to help that liquid, when it does start to bake, really tighten up. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon measure. So I'm just going to add in this is a 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And guys, this recipe, the only reason I'm saying it out loud is because I'm actually just doing it in my head as I'm going. I have something similar written, but this is the recipe if you were to cook the apples and then bake it. And so I'm just switching it up to how I used to make my apple crisp in college. So we're just gonna whisk this together, get it all incorporated. And I'm hoping this is gonna be enough for all of these apples. Now, because our pie dough is sitting, and I'm not gonna add, let me lift this. I'm not gonna add any liquid to that. I am gonna add my lemon juice in here. I haven't did it yet because I was debating the whole time if I wanted to, but I'm going to now, just so it can give it that little bit of flavor can soak up in those apples. Lemon juice is also good for helping your apples turn, well, stop from turning colors. I've never really found that works when it comes to helping stop unless you add a lot. And if you add a lot, you're really gonna taste it. So I'm just gonna add this so my apples can soak it up, because again, you're still gonna taste that lemon. So I'll let this sit for 10 minutes or until our pie dough is done. And we are going to dry those off very, very well with a towel. So I'm just gonna let you know that ahead of time. So I'm going to grab our pie dough and we can start rolling these out so I can at least get this wrapped up and done, and we can move on to our sweet potato pies. All right, guys, so I jumped the gun and I started rolling out some pie crust. So I'm gonna roll this last one out with you guys, because I think I'm only gonna do 3 apple pies. I'm gonna roll this last one out with you all. So I just put some flour down. I'm gonna dry my hand real quick. All right, guys. Now, this crust, a lot of people don't like my pie crust. Let me tell you why. Don't like to make it, let's say. It's delicious once you get it, but it is a little crumbly. So, like the first 2 I made were falling apart a bit, but again, you're only adding a little water. You don't want it to actually be a dough. So I have my dough down, everything's floured. My pie pan I'm just gonna put right in front of it. And I'm just gonna start rolling it flat. Please make sure you keep your dough together. Like with mine, it's starting to split. And that's what I mean when I say it breaks apart. As you roll it, it might split. That's totally fine. Just keep rolling it and I'll show you how I fix it as I go. So I just sprinkle a little on top. This hand was wet, so I'm gonna make sure it's a little floured so I don't get anything watery. And I'm just gonna keep it in a round shape as best as I can. So I'm gonna push those in. And again, guys, I'm just gonna show you the one. If you want to see in detail how I do my pie crust, again, I'm going to link that video down below on how I make it, start to finish, roll it out, and everything. So, I'm going to keep rolling. I did go under with my bench scraper. I do see dough starting to stick, so I'm going to get some more flour. Just keep pushing it to keep it together. Go up under with the edges. And I am going to throw some flour under it. And I just want it a little bigger than my actual pie pan. So this right here is perfect. Because if you see, I have a little bit of a lip over, and that would be great for folding over and making our little lattice edges. So I'm going to go under one more time. I'm going to roll this right onto my... And again, if you got to scrape, just scrape it a little as you go. And my pie pan is here, so we're going to lift and transfer. Lift up your edges a bit. Make sure you get it all the way in. and then fold over a little. So we're just folding these under, guys. And once I get to the edge, I just pinch it off and I let it fall. So my camera did cut off a little bit, guys. I think I caught it before we missed too much. So this is what my pie dough is looking like. Right now we're just gonna do the 3-finger pinch. You're just gonna do like this all the way around your edges, just to get you a nice little design at the top. If you want to use a fork, you can use a fork and give it like that little crinkle design. All right. So this is what our pie dough is looking like. I'm going to get this in the fridge with the other 3 and we'll work on our filling. Let's strain these. So these are strained. This is my flour mixture. I'm hoping I have enough. I really am hoping I have enough. This I'm gonna dry out. And I'm gonna put my apples back in here. I'm gonna leave this tissue right here at the bottom to catch that water. These are dried. So we're gonna just dump this right on it. So these are our pie crust, okay? And we're going to throw our apples right on in. We're gonna sprinkle the rest of this on there. Okay, these are in and down. We're gonna make our crumb topping to put on top, and then I will wrap these up and put them right in the oven. So guys, a lot of cooking I do, I have to warn you in advance. I don't measure. I really don't. And I need to, but I don't. So for my crumb topping, it's gonna be flour, it's gonna be oats, brown sugar is gonna be in there. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of flour. No, I'm not. I'm gonna take about a 1/4 cup out. I'm going to add in some oats, and it's about a 1/2 cup of oats. I would like to add in some spices as well. And the only spice I'm gonna add is cinnamon. And we're gonna throw in some brown sugar as well. And that's about a cup of brown sugar. And we're just gonna mix that together gently, get it combined, get my brown sugar broken up. Not gonna lie, it's a little hard in some spots. And you can do this with a whisk if you want. I don't know why, I am a hands-in person when it comes to cooking. That's just me, so I'd rather wash my hands 100 times. And that's just how I do it. So, that's all broken down. So this should be enough for all of my pies. I'm praying it is. I'm gonna grab some shortening and we're gonna put that in here. And that would be like our butter mixture. I'm just gonna use one hand to break these up so I don't get too many. And you're just mixing this through. Same way you would do a dough. I'm using two, guys. Break it up, get that butter crumbled up in there. Like I said, you can use butter or shortening, but everything I'm doing is dairy free. So I'm using shortening for pretty much all of the recipes today. Or dairy substitutes. You can see I added more shortening, guys. Again, I don't measure. I know how it should feel. I should start measuring. But I make this so much. Crumb topping is great on anything. I make crumb topping and put it on my banana bread. I put it on my cinnamon muffins. So when it comes to this, the crumble, I make it for everything. So I'm pretty much good at eyeballing it. Now you know when it's done, guys, and I'm gonna show you how. When you can pick it up and squeeze it. So you see how I got it picked up? It's falling through my hands. But if I can pick it up, squeeze it, and it forms a ball, it's perfect. It's done. This is how it should be. Okay? So I'm going to put this on top. I ain't gonna lie, I'm stealing from over here. So that is my crumb pies. I have made a huge mess. We are going to get these in the boxes they belong in, wrapped up, frozen. So we are going to wrap these pies up, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. And I'm going to get my boxes as well. So let's clean up, get some room, and I'm gonna do it right here on this table. So these are the boxes that I'm using to store them in. Again, I got boxes. I have so many because I sell pies. So these are my pie boxes that I put them in after I make them. So I'm gonna wrap all of these first, and then we'll assemble some boxes and put them in just so I don't mess anything up. pies are in. Okay, apple pies are in. Okay, so our cheesecakes are done. They'll be topped the day of. Our apple pies are done. That crumb topping I did. I literally wrote the recipe for everything just in case. So even with the crumb topping. So we're now on the brown butter sweet potato pies. So that should be it. And I do have to make 2 more pie crusts. So I might make those while I wait on the sweet potatoes to cool down. And I am going to check those to see if they're ready. So guys, these are what our sweet potatoes are looking like. You see how I can just stab it straight through, it goes all the way in? These are done. We're gonna take these off, and I'm actually going to put them right over here in the sink and get them to cool down. Okay guys, so here are our sweet potatoes. They are hot. Ooh, I had to burp. We just took them out, so I'm gonna move as quickly as possible when it comes to panning these up. I got my little knife here. You don't really need to cut them because the skin will fall right off, which is a wonderful thing. So if you literally just peel it back, the skin pulls right off. And I'm just gonna put the skin right over here. Because they are cooked, I'm not sure if I can compost it. So we're just peeling those off, pinching it off, pinching it off. And I'm just cutting that little piece off the end, guys. And then once it's done, drop your whole sweet potato in your pan. Okay, and we'll let it finish cooling off in there. So I'm gonna repeat the process to all. Literally just pinch the skin and it'll all come off. So, ooh, it's hot. Why did I pick it up by the side? These are gonna sit to cool. I'm actually gonna whip these guys in 2 batches just to get most of the strings out of it, and I'll show you how I do that. But I'm gonna let these cool before I do anything. All right, guys, so we have time while our sweet potatoes are back there cooling. So I'm gonna make some more pie crust to put in the fridge so we can roll out. I still have that one in the fridge, and I need 3 more for my sweet potato pies, okay? So I'm just gonna measure this out. I got a big old bag of flour here I'm just scooping from. I'm gonna go with what my gut says to do. And if I get extra pie, I get extra pie. Don't forget your salt. And then our shortening. Again, we're going straight dairy free. Your shortening doesn't have to be cold, guys. Mine sits in my cabinet. This is why I just make sure I chill my pie crust for a while. Sometimes I'll make it the day before. Today we're not, but that's fine. Because again, these are getting frozen. We're gonna whisk the salt up in there. And me, you don't have to, but I always add a little sugar in mine. The sugar gives it a nice browning. I know you can just do an egg wash on the outside. I don't. And it's nice and sweet as well. I really don't put that much sugar in my fillings in my pies. And if I know I'm doing a savory pie, guys, you can always just take the sugar out. But now that I got that whisked, we're going to add our butter. So trash that and let's get dirty. I should have used a bigger bowl, but all my bowls are in the dishwasher. And I really did not think about taking one and washing it out. I thought I was done. But we're just gonna crumble these up to pea size. And once I get them to the consistency and the shortening in the sizes that I want it to be throughout my dough, that's when I'll add my ice water. And I have some right here in this gray measuring cup ready for me. If you get some on the outside, it's alright. You know why? Because when we get down there and we start kneading it together, we're gonna put it back in it anyway. That's how I figure. Plus, I was always told if it ain't messy, then you ain't doing it right. But I'm gonna crumble these up and we'll fast forward. Alright guys, so this is the look at my hands. But this is the consistency on where I want it to be. I like how you can already like squeeze it and it kind of holds itself together. So now I'm going to start adding my ice water. Get some off of me. How messy am I? So I just added a good amount to start with. Just because I know I did this recipe by 3. Add some more, make a little well. And how I'm doing it to avoid getting so sticky is I'm just scooping under and letting the moisture, the ones that are already wet, kind of mix in with the dry ones. And that's how they're moving together. Well, sticking together. So it's kind of a dough, but I'm going to make another well and we're going to do it again. And this should be the last time, because this is the consistency about where it was, maybe a little more moist where I did it the first time. So I might actually end up adding all of this. And I'm gonna just dump it out. Anyway, yeah. I might add a little more water now that I see the consistency right here. And then I'll grab my saran wrap too. When I grab some water, that's where I'm gonna put my water at. I ain't gonna lie. Poke some holes and sprinkle it throughout. So I'm gonna cut this dough. That's kind of not even. So I'm gonna take that off and put that there. There you go. Then I'll cut it in half again. I'm bad at eyeballing half. I really am. I can never have a center part straight. I'm so horrible at it. So I'm gonna put these to the side, grab my saran wrap, and start wrapping them up. We're gonna put these in the fridge and then start working on our filling. Hey guys, so I ended up having to do a Instacart delivery for almond milk because I did not have enough. And again, I want this to be totally dairy free. So while we wait on that, we're browning our butter, which is right here. So at first I have it on high just to get it melting, and then we're just going to turn it down to a medium high and let it get nice and caramelized and brown. And once it's cooled, I have all of the rest of my ingredients over here. So our eggs, I do need to add some more almond milk back here. And then our sweet potatoes are completely cooled. So we'll get that going and in the oven. Alright guys, so I got my whisk attachment on my sweet potatoes. I'm gonna let these go and I'm gonna show you the strings I was talking about earlier. So I'm gonna take these off. So these are kind of the strings I was talking about. And I try to get most of these out by spinning and then tapping off. I keep the puree part, but like I said, this is all just strings. All right, guys. So now I got most of my strings out. I am going to add in my liquids. I'm gonna do my eggs first. I want to do my butter first, but my butter is in my fridge. Let's get that. So this is gonna be the butter I'm adding in. So those are in. And now we're just gonna dump, and I think I'm gonna take this off just to make sure I get it all in there. So in this bowl, guys, I had brown sugar, white sugar, all-purpose flour, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, salt. So that had pretty much all of our sweetenings, seasoners, and that was all of our dry. Just dumped right in there. I'm gonna get it started and then we'll add our eggs and our almond milk. Scrape our edges. These are my eggs. So all of it's mixed up. Take this off. That is heavy. My oven is already preheated. I am gonna taste this. That's good. That's so good. Give it a quick mix. And this is really heavy. I really don't think I'm gonna pour it. I think I'm gonna scoop. So our pies are in the oven, 425 guys, 425, 45 minutes. Now I set my timer for 25 minutes because what I'm gonna do is actually cover my crust, like the lattice edges, halfway through baking just to make sure they don't burn and they stay nice, pretty, and golden. And then we'll take them out the oven and set them on this rack to cool. While that's going, I am going to wrap up my cheesecakes and get those in the freezer as well. I do have some time, so I'm trying to decide if I want to make some cranberry sauce right now for Thanksgiving, or do I want to just wait on it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But I'm gonna start cleaning up this big old mess I have, get my dishwasher going, and wrap up the cheesecake, and I will be back when the pies are out the oven. Oh, these are hot. Oh, and heavy. But aren't these heavenly? Alright guys, so our pies are out of the oven. I feel so accomplished and tired. But these are what I'm gonna give you an up close. I know you want it, so we're gonna give it to you. Okay. They're still hot. They just came out. This is our pie. Okay. It smells so good. I'm so excited, and you can't. I don't even know what to say. My mouth is watering, and I'm so mad I can't eat it today. But these are our brown butter sweet potato pies. Okay, so I have 4. One for my Friendsgiving this Saturday. Well, you know, coming up, and then for Thanksgiving as well. So I'm so excited to get these pies wrapped up. Okay, and it is gonna take a while to cool off. So if you want to know how I defrost them, I'll leave all of that in the description down below, recipes to them as well. But thank you for baking with me today, guys. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you definitely got to hit that thumbs up. But if you did enjoy baking with me today and you like this type of videos, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment down below if you ever tried any of these or want to try any of these recipes. Okay, and see you next time. Bye.
Why do I try? Why?